guys. I'm so excited to be here today talking about why a man changes right after there's a commitment in place. Who's been there or who's there right now? Where you started dating someone and then as soon as there's a commitment, you've decided to step in and commit to them. Um, all of a sudden you feel a shift. And the shift is usually him pulling back a bit, not reaching out as much, not contacting, maybe not even spending as much time. So there's a couple, I'm going to unpack this with you guys a bit because there's several different angles that it can be. And I recently had a question from a woman around this very topic. So why do men pull back, pull away, change? So here's the number one thing. Typically after a man gets into a committed relationship with you, there's like a settling in that happens. It's almost like they go, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So now the courtship is not as much in place, although it still should be in place. And this gets tricky too, because what I notice, a lot of the women that experience this will typically are typically anxious people. So I talk about different attachment styles, but they're typically they run more anxious, where they start to think that, did I do something wrong to push him away? Is everything okay? They start to go into this panic mode. There's a trigger mode that happens, which usually gets them in trouble, because then they go into self-sabotage mode, because they go into the exact opposite thing of what he really fell for them for in the first place, which is the chasing energy, which is the masculine energy. And it's hard not to do when you're being triggered, because it's a triggering feeling of abandonment. It's like, oh my God, I opened my heart. I said yes to stepping into being exclusive with this guy, and all of a sudden it's like I feel all alone, right? So here's the deal. This is a perfectly natural thing to happen. However, there's a couple other pieces to it. So this is why I wanted to unpack it with you guys. A lot of times, a woman that really feels this and experiences this, she might be an empath or a highly sensitive person. I'm a highly sensitive person, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's being well aware and also a more of an anxious attachment style. So they experience this to a greater degree than somebody that has a secure attachment style or an avoidant, right? Or anxious avoidant. Now, I don't want to really get into this, but so helping you guys understand the fact that it is normal. However, women with an anxious attachment style tend to attract men who have an avoidant attachment style. So they will, and they don't necessarily appear avoidant in the beginning. They actually appear more anxious because they are in pursuit mode. And men are hunters by nature. And then once they get the girl, or, they relax and they pull back, and they may retreat back into their shell. So one, it's to look at how is this taking place? How is this happening? And you also get to not make yourself wrong about this because you haven't done anything wrong. And that's a big thing that women do in general, especially anxious women. So what you get to do is let that man know that, next time you talk to him or you're out with him, say, hey, I noticed, I haven't heard from you as much. It really makes me so happy to hear from you once a day. That would absolutely thrill me. So a man wants to make you happy. So you want to start actually with, what would make me really happy is if I heard from you once a day. I know life gets crazy, but it makes my day to hear something, especially when we don't get to see each other every day, right? Or touch base, whatever. So that lets him know, and then you get to sit back, sit on your hands, do the thing, do you, and see how he shows up. Okay, so there's another side to this. It's multifaceted. It's kind of like onion layers peeling back. I almost feel like, you ever had one of those blooming onions? So bad for you, yet tastes oh so good. Anyways, it's kind of like that. The other thing to look at, what's going on in his life? Did he get a new job? Is he, has he been extra stressed? Is there, did he recently move? Is there things in his life that could be causing him stress or anxiety? Here's the deal. Men deal with stress differently than we do. They actually go inward until they feel better about it. They may not have solved their problems, but they feel a little better. And then they come forward. It's important to give him space. As women, when we go through things, what do we like to do? We like to talk. We like to talk it out. And this is something common that I see as, a huge misunderstanding with women when it comes to men and relationships. So my encouragement to you is to look at everything and not really make it about you. So if you've got an avoidant on your hands, though, he may not follow through with your requests. I just got another question here. My boyfriend tends to come at me with anger when he feels guilty about something, and he disappeared for 2 weeks. He gets angry and storms out. That is, one, horrible. It's what I would classify that as emotionally abusive, and someone that's looking for an excuse to shut down, be avoidant, and punish, really. And that's horrible, Lydia. I would really evaluate. It sounds to me also like he has a really hard time communicating, and maybe he has some anger things going on. I don't know the guy. But my encouragement around that is to take a step back and look at, and I'll send you a direct message too. Take a step back and really evaluate, is this worth it to me? Because I don't ever think love is enough. It's not enough for emotional abuse, physical abuse, obviously, anything like that. And I think we can easily be hooked into a relationship based on the way someone showed up in the very beginning, right? That first 3 months, or the first 6 weeks. And then he's not showing up that way anymore. In fact, he's not even that person. And, what happens is you're trying to get back to the person that he was in the beginning. And that's just not who he is. It was his mask. So it's really about taking time to evaluate, is this what I really want? And a lot of times we stay in situations that really torture our soul due to the fact that, due to the fact that it's a worthiness. We don't feel like we are worthy of something else, or we're kind of lazy and we don't want to go back out there because it doesn't sound like fun and it feels kind of scary. So there's all of these, like I said, the blooming onion, the layers that happen. So I want to invite you guys to take a look at the whole picture and look at who you are. Do I have the tendency to be a little more on the anxious side? The woman that asked me this question originally, I know she's on the anxious side. I know her, and I also knew based on the question. And when I answered it, it was like, oh my gosh, you read my mind. How did you know? And there's other things that happen with an anxious person because they'll start to think, I give so much, I'm so great. And then they get frustrated and literally they'll go into fight or flight and eventually just act out. And he's going to be like, this is out of left field. And then she feels guilty, and then she starts making it, trying to make it up. And then it goes into this vicious cycle that doesn't have to happen based on your emotional triggers. So I recommend working with a coach. I recommend looking, taking a deeper look at that, and also, understanding this so that you can have it on the forefront of your mind, like, yeah, okay, this does happen. And it's natural that I'm experiencing this, and I get to communicate my wants, needs, and desires without being entitled to. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. But when you come from a place of putting yourself in his shoes, what does he have going on? Is he really in a place, and I'm going to add this on at the end here, is he really in a place to show up fully in a relationship? Or do I have the tendency to pick men that are available, unavailable people, because then there's no real commitment that happens? And let me explain that to you. The available, unavailable person can be really, really amazing. And you could have a really awesome connection with them. The thing that happens is that they tend to have other things in their life that they're either focused on or they need to be focused on, and they're sacrificing in a relationship. So in other words, the timing's really not good for them. And it almost becomes like, you're in this relationship where it feels like, he's married or something. So, that's another piece of the layering that it can be. And it's, learning how to really get clear on who you are, what it is you want, and what you're inviting in as partnership, because you are freaking awesome and you're worthy of the best. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope this helped. Please share this with anyone that you feel it could support or help. I would so appreciate this. And if you're on YouTube and you like my video, press the like button and subscribe so you can get all my videos that come out weekly about different things. And If you have anything you want to hear more about, put it in the comments box too. I so appreciate you guys. If you're on IGTV, hello, and I'm sending you guys so much love. I will see you very soon. Bye.